Hey everyone, how's it going? It's honestly a little intimidating to be up here speaking about email to a bunch of email marketers, so please bear with me. There's just so many thought leaders in the room, but where's my clicker? So as I was talking in passing to a lot of my colleagues, as I was telling them about this presentation, about this panel, the minute I mentioned machine learning, their faces would kind of look like this, and they'd take this like really deep, pained, raspy breath that was like kind of short but kind of deep, and they'd be like, "But are you really an expert in machine learning?" And I actually work with really nice and supportive and kind and really smart people. But their answer to their question is no. I am not a technical expert in machine learning. I'm not a statistician, data scientist, super nerd, computer geek that's hacking big data to take over the world. I am actually I was a history and political science major that probably, like a lot of you, fell into growth marketing at a financial technology firm. It's a company-wide objective this year for Square to leverage machine learning and AI to help serve those that we may not have been able to serve or would have overlooked. There's support for this at the highest level. To prove that, this is a still from a video of our CEO, Jack Dorsey, who's also the CEO of Twitter. This is him literally holding a really large book called The Human Face of Big Data. And he sent this video around to literally the entire company, telling us how important it was to leverage machine learning and AI to, again, serve the sellers that we as marketers in San Francisco or supporters in San Francisco would have overlooked. Aside from this semi-strange but really awesome still of Jack, I would guess that most of us in the room have a really similar role. We're trying to acquire new customers or grow and retain the customers we already have. Everyone's coming to our desk and saying, "Send the right message at the right time to the right customer." And we say, "Yeah, we're doing it, thanks." But all of us are the perfect customers of machine learning. It's an amazing tool to be the customer of. The statistician, data scientist, super nerd builds the model for us, but it's up to us as marketers to test it, inform it, and leverage it in a way that works for our company, our roles, our teams, and our customers. Before I tell you how I use machine learning in my role, let me give you a little context. I know we've given a little bit before, but how many of you actually know what Square is? Okay, so I don't need to explain shapes to any of you. Anyways, most of you probably know this little white reader that lets us take payments from your phone or your iPad or your Android device. You can take it anywhere, offline or online. Most of you probably see this at food trucks, or maybe Girl Scouts use this. Or for any of your Curb Your Enthusiasm fans, this was actually in one of the most recent episodes, which I really loved. Or there's the Square stand. So this is in like the really hip coffee shop or your restaurant or maybe a clothing store. And this enables you to use an iPad and have like a bigger surface, and it's a little bit more formal service. But this is still taking payments. This is our bread and butter of our company, processing payments, allowing smaller sellers that don't have the bandwidth to buy like a Micros or a really expensive POS to actually take payments and start their business. But we're so much more than a payment processor now. We offer services like software to manage employees and locations, to payroll and invoice management. We even loan small businesses capital that circumvents the traditional bank loan. They don't have to go through a credit check. They're not paying a monthly fee. They're paying back based on their card swipes, actually. So it's a really great way for businesses to grow their capital without having to go to a traditional bank that might decline them. That's a very long way of saying we have a lot of products and a lot of features to market. My team's job is to support the seller lifecycle and educate sellers about products that we think will be a good fit and make their business easier and more successful. A big challenge for us in email is that we have a really diverse customer base and a ton of products. As I mentioned before, we have the Girl Scout troops that are selling cookies, we have the coffee shops, and then we have multi-location, multi-email national retail stores that have really complex solutions and really need a complex POS system. For some time at Square, and the previous companies I've worked at, notably Uber, we came up with targeting based on heuristics. So heuristics comes from the Greek word discover, and it generally means an educated guess to get the job done. This targeting is based on a handful of high-level data points, and conversion rates were based on luck more than precision targeting. It's the throw the wide net approach and hope for the best. This is where machine learning makes things really interesting. Here are a few examples of how Square uses machine learning today to communicate with sellers. So first, this is a funky looking graph at the bottom there, but this is our cross-sell model. So to help grow product usage, we developed cross-sell models for each product. The model uses hundreds and hundreds of unique data points or data signals to score each single merchant in our database and predict their individual likelihood to convert to each individual product. This graph represents sellers scored by the model and is cut by what we call decile to show propensity to convert. 90% of your conversions come from 70% of your send. This means you can lower your send volume while improving your conversion rate but maintaining absolute conversion numbers. This is a game changer for a company that has a big audience and a ton of products. Instead of email volumes going up and open rates going down as the seller becomes sick of our emails, we're only showing them products they're a good fit for. It's freeing up email inventory and creating a better relationship with our seller. So next, it's a little light on the screen, but we can leverage machine learning models to predict the best time and the best day to email. This model is trained to estimate click rates, where the hour and the day are two of its features. This lets us calculate a click rate for every single combination of hour and day. For example, here's the click rates for an average seller. The model predicts the best time to send are weekdays early morning as well as Tuesday evening. So that's kind of where it's like the darker blue. So the model scans these click rates for each user and suggests that emails be sent at that time. However, there are significant variations by user. Here are the predictions for two randomly selected users. The user on the left is predicted to open emails mostly in the morning, while the user on the right is predicted to open emails mostly sent in the late afternoon. By leveraging this model, you can scan the click rates for every single user and suggest that the email be sent at that time to maximize the estimated click rate. There are huge limitations to this model, mostly based on your data and your ESP, but the potential uplift is really shocking. So the final example I'll show you, so I've shown you cross-sell models, how you can grow your products, and I've shown you how we can optimize our send time, but you can actually use it to just simply retain the customers you already have on the products they're already using. So we can almost instantly tell if your reader has broken and trigger this email to order a new reader. So this keeps them, which is our bread and butter, processing on the payment. They can keep their business up and ultimately keeps them happy with Square. So before we move to our panel, and after I've shown you all these great things about machine learning can only do these things. It's the overused mission of email marketing of send the right message at the right time to the right customer. Machine learning helps us with the right time and the right person, but it doesn't help us with the right message. It's still up to us marketers to define what we're saying, how we're saying it, what the creative is, what the actual value props of our products are. So we all still have jobs for a really long time. And with that, I think we'll move to the panel.